Rob Reiner, the acclaimed Hollywood director and actor known for films such as When Harry Met Sally, Stand By Me, and The Princess Bride, was tragically killed alongside his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner, at their Brentwood, Los Angeles home on December 14, 2025. The shocking incident has left the entertainment world and the public in disbelief. According to reports, the couple was discovered by their daughter, Romy Reiner, while their son, Nick Reiner, aged 32, was later arrested and charged with first-degree murder in connection with the deaths. This heartbreaking event has brought renewed attention to the complex dynamics of the Reiner family, particularly the struggles Nick faced with addiction and mental health issues. In the weeks leading up to the tragedy, Rob Reiner had spoken candidly in interviews about his son Nick and the long, difficult journey they had endured as a family. Nick's battle with substance abuse and his struggle to maintain stability were well documented over the years, and Rob had often shared insights into both the challenges and small victories experienced along the way. In particular, Reiner spoke about the profound emotional toll that dealing with a loved one's addiction can have on a family. He acknowledged the frustration, fear, and guilt that often accompany these experiences, emphasizing that recovery is rarely linear and that setbacks are part of the process. One notable element of Reiner's reflections was his acknowledgement of personal regret. He admitted that, at times, he had placed too much faith in professionals and treatment programs while not fully trusting his own instincts as a parent regarding Nick. This honesty resonated with many, highlighting the complex balance families must strike between seeking external help and staying attuned to the nuances of their loved one's emotional states. Reiner also discussed the collaborative process he shared with Nick on the 2015 film Being Charlie, a semi-autobiographical project that mirrored aspects of Nick's experiences with addiction and recovery. Through the creation of the film, Reiner described moments of deeper understanding and connection with his son, framing it as an important chapter in both of their lives. Despite these efforts, Nick's personal struggles remained an ongoing concern. 3 months before the deaths, Reiner had publicly expressed optimism, stating that Nick was in a really good place and had abstained from drug use for over 6 years. Friends and acquaintances noted that Nick appeared relatively stable and socially engaged in the days leading up to the tragedy. However, tensions within the family, including a reported argument during a Christmas gathering shortly before the incident, underscored the persistent volatility of the situation. The combination of Nick's ongoing internal battles and the eventual violent outcome has prompted public discourse about the challenges of managing addiction and mental health within families. Rob Reiner's final reflections on his son, shared just weeks before his death, now carry a deeply poignant and tragic resonance. They capture the duality of hope and struggle that characterizes many families affected by addiction, as well as the limitations of love and intervention in the face of complex psychological and behavioral issues. Ultimately, the Reiner family tragedy is a stark reminder of the fragility of life, the unpredictability of human behavior, and the enduring challenges faced by those who care for loved ones grappling with substance abuse and mental health disorders. Rob Reiner's words, now viewed in the shadow of tragedy, reveal the profound and painful realities of parenting a child in crisis. In the weeks leading up to his death, Rob Reiner openly discussed the complex and often painful relationship he had with his son, Nick Reiner. These reflections provide a rare and candid insight into the struggles of a parent trying to navigate a child's battles with addiction, mental health challenges, and the pressures of life in the public eye. Rob Reiner, a highly respected filmmaker and actor, did not shy away from admitting the difficulties of maintaining hope, patience, and understanding in the face of his son's ongoing challenges. Rob described Nick as a talented, sensitive, and creative individual who had struggled with substance abuse for much of his adult life. According to interviews conducted shortly before the tragic events of December 2025, Reiner expressed pride in Nick's efforts to maintain sobriety and rebuild his life. He highlighted that Nick had spent significant periods abstaining from drugs and alcohol, including a stretch of more than 6 years without relapse. This achievement, Reiner emphasized, was not simply a reflection of willpower but a testament to the immense courage required to face ongoing internal struggles and external pressures. Despite periods of apparent stability, Reiner acknowledged that addiction is never fully resolved and that setbacks are often inevitable. He spoke openly about the emotional toll it had taken on him as a father, admitting that there were moments of fear, frustration, and helplessness. Rob described feeling conflicted between providing guidance and allowing Nick to make his own decisions, recognizing that excessive control could hinder his son's personal growth, while too little involvement might leave him vulnerable to relapse. This tension, he explained, is one that many parents of children with addiction face but one that is rarely discussed publicly. A central aspect of Rob Reiner's reflections revolved around the 2015 film Being Charlie, which he co-created with Nick. The semi-autobiographical film chronicled the life of a young man struggling with substance abuse and recovery, drawing heavily from Nick's own experiences. For Reiner, the filmmaking process was both therapeutic and illuminating. He described how collaborating on the project allowed him to see his son's struggles from a new perspective, fostering a deeper understanding of the emotional and psychological factors driving Nick's behavior. The film also provided a platform for both father and son to communicate honestly about topics that had previously been difficult to discuss, including fear, shame, and the desire for redemption. Reiner also reflected on the broader implications of addiction within a family context. He stressed that addiction is not solely the responsibility of the individual struggling with it but a challenge that affects every member of the household. In interviews, he spoke about the importance of empathy, patience, and unconditional support, while also acknowledging the boundaries necessary to protect one's own mental and emotional health. He was candid about the mistakes he believed he had made as a parent, including moments where he relied too heavily on professional advice rather than trusting his instincts or paying closer attention to subtle warning signs. These admissions reveal a man acutely aware of the limitations of even the most well-intentioned parental guidance. In addition to discussing Nick's struggles with addiction, Reiner shared insights into the pressures of fame and public scrutiny. Being the child of a well-known Hollywood figure, Nick faced unique challenges that compounded his personal struggles. Rob acknowledged that growing up in the public eye could magnify feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, and self-doubt. He reflected on the difficulty of balancing public expectations with private family dynamics, a tension that often complicated efforts to provide effective support. Despite these challenges, Rob consistently expressed deep love and hope for his son. He spoke of the pride he felt in Nick's creative talents, his moments of self-awareness, and his efforts to overcome adversity. Reiner's reflections reveal a parent determined to see the humanity in his child, to recognize his potential, and to support his growth, even when circumstances were daunting. These candid statements, made just weeks before the tragic events that claimed his life, underscore the poignancy of his loss and the profound complexity of parent-child relationships in the context of addiction and mental health challenges. Ultimately, Rob Reiner's reflections serve as a reminder of both the resilience and vulnerability inherent in human relationships. His words capture the balance between hope and realism, love and discipline, intervention and autonomy. The tragedy that followed renders his insights even more heartrending, as they highlight the struggles, regrets, and unwavering devotion of a parent who sought to guide his child through the most difficult chapters of life. In examining Rob Reiner's reflections, one sees not only the story of a Hollywood family in crisis but also a universal narrative about love, loss, and the enduring challenges of navigating addiction within a family. The shocking deaths of Rob and Michelle Reiner in December 2025 sent waves of grief and disbelief through Hollywood, the media, and the public at large. Known for his immense contributions to film as both an actor and director, Rob Reiner's legacy had been built over decades of critically acclaimed work, spanning emotionally resonant dramas, romantic comedies, and deeply human narratives. Michelle Reiner, a respected figure in her own right, was equally admired for her warmth and dedication to family. Their deaths, under tragic circumstances at the hands of their son, Nick Reiner, left a profound void and sparked immediate conversation about family dynamics, mental health, and addiction. In the immediate aftermath, public reaction was a mixture of shock, sadness, and an urgent curiosity to understand the complex familial context that preceded the tragedy. Friends, colleagues, and fellow creatives in Hollywood shared their grief through social media, interviews, and personal tributes. Billy Crystal, Albert Brooks, and other longtime associates expressed not only sorrow for the loss of two cherished individuals but also compassion for the pain Nick himself must have been experiencing. Many highlighted the Reiners' reputation as a loving and engaged family, which made the violent outcome all the more bewildering and tragic. Public statements emphasized Rob Reiner's role as a devoted father and mentor, framing him as someone who had consistently sought to support and guide his children through difficult times. Media coverage quickly focused on the background of Nick Reiner, particularly his struggles with substance abuse and mental health challenges. Over the years, Nick's journey had been fraught with periods of recovery and relapse, as well as public speculation due to the family's prominence. In interviews Rob Reiner gave shortly before his death, he had openly discussed Nick's past difficulties, his efforts at rehabilitation, and the limited control even a devoted parent can exert in such circumstances. These insights, now seen in retrospect, became a poignant lens through which the public attempted to understand the tragedy. Many commentators highlighted the cruel irony that Rob had expressed cautious optimism about Nick's progress only weeks before the fatal incident, emphasizing the unpredictable nature of addiction and its far-reaching consequences. The tragedy has prompted broader discussions about the challenges families face when dealing with addiction and mental health crises. Experts in psychology and addiction treatment noted that even with resources, love, and guidance, outcomes are not always within the control of caregivers. Rob Reiner's public reflections underscore this reality, illustrating the emotional complexity and limitations inherent in supporting someone struggling with deep-seated behavioral and psychological issues. His candid acknowledgement of regret, missteps, and the difficulty of balancing professional treatment with parental instincts resonates with many families facing similar, though less public, struggles. Additionally, the case sparked debate about the intersection of privilege, fame, and mental health. Nick Reiner grew up in an environment of extraordinary visibility and expectation, which may have intensified personal pressures. Analysts noted that while wealth and celebrity status can provide access to treatment and opportunities, they do not shield individuals from internal struggles or prevent tragic outcomes. In this sense, the Reiner family story is a sobering reminder that addiction and mental health challenges transcend socioeconomic status and public image. Public mourning has also reflected a desire to celebrate Rob Reiner's artistic contributions while acknowledging the tragedy of the family's personal story. Tributes have emphasized his ability to create films that combined humor, empathy, and emotional depth, capturing universal human experiences. At the same time, the narrative of his final reflections on Nick, his honesty, vulnerability, and parental devotion, has deepened the public understanding of the human cost behind his work. This dual focus, on professional legacy and personal struggle, highlights the intertwined nature of life and art in Reiner's story. Ultimately, the aftermath of the Reiner family tragedy provides both a cautionary tale and a source of reflection. It underscores the profound challenges of addressing addiction and mental health issues within a family context, the limitations of even the most well-intentioned interventions, and the enduring complexity of parent-child relationships. Rob Reiner's reflections, offered in the final weeks of his life, reveal a parent grappling with love, regret, hope, and reality. Their deaths have catalyzed an ongoing conversation about empathy, understanding, and the societal importance of supporting those who struggle, reminding the public that tragedy can strike even the most prominent and seemingly stable families. In the shadow of these events, the Reiner family story serves as both a heart-wrenching loss and a lesson in human vulnerability, resilience, and the unpredictable consequences of addiction and mental health struggles. It emphasizes that even in environments of wealth, privilege, and love, the outcomes for those battling internal demons remain uncertain, highlighting the urgent need for compassion, awareness, and proactive support in all families. The tragic deaths of Rob and Michelle Reiner at the hands of their son, Nick, serve not only as a deeply personal family catastrophe but also as a lens through which broader societal and psychological issues can be examined. In the wake of this shocking event, many observers have reflected on the intersection of addiction, mental health, family dynamics, and societal expectations. While the story is intensely personal, it carries universal lessons about the fragility of human relationships and the unpredictable nature of behavioral struggles. One of the clearest lessons is the complexity of addiction and mental health challenges within a family context. Rob Reiner had publicly discussed his son's past struggles with substance abuse and mental health in the weeks before his death, offering insight into the difficult balance between support and autonomy. He highlighted that recovery is rarely linear and that even long periods of sobriety do not guarantee stability. His candid reflections reveal that the path to healing is fraught with setbacks, requiring continuous effort, patience, and understanding. Families facing similar challenges often confront the same tension: how to provide loving guidance without overstepping, and how to maintain hope without being blinded to reality. Rob's reflections also underscore the emotional toll these challenges take on caregivers. Parents of children struggling with addiction experience stress, anxiety, guilt, and often a sense of helplessness. Reiner acknowledged moments of regret, questioning decisions where he might have relied too heavily on external expertise instead of trusting his instincts. His honesty illuminates a reality often underrepresented in public discourse: the deep psychological burden borne by those who support loved ones in crisis. For many, the Reiner family tragedy illustrates the need for more societal awareness of these caregiver challenges, as well as access to mental health support not just for those struggling directly, but for the entire family system. Another implication of the Reiner story is the unique pressure faced by individuals growing up in the public eye. Nick Reiner's experiences, framed by the dual challenges of personal struggle and intense visibility, highlight how fame and societal expectations can exacerbate pre-existing vulnerabilities. Growing up in an environment of scrutiny, expectations, and comparison can magnify anxiety, shame, and the temptation to self-medicate. While wealth and resources can offer access to professional treatment, they cannot insulate individuals from the psychological complexity of human behavior. This understanding emphasizes that addiction and mental health crises are universal challenges, crossing social, economic, and cultural boundaries. The Reiner tragedy also encourages reflection on the ways in which art and personal experience intersect. Rob and Nick's collaboration on the semi-autobiographical film Being Charlie served as both a creative outlet and a medium for dialogue. The project revealed the potential for art to facilitate understanding within families, providing a space to explore painful experiences and communicate difficult truths. At the same time, it underscores that artistic exploration, while therapeutic, cannot replace comprehensive intervention or prevent unforeseen crises. This duality reflects the human desire to seek understanding, reconciliation, and expression even in the face of deeply entrenched challenges. Public reaction to the Reiner family tragedy has highlighted broader cultural conversations about empathy, accountability, and awareness. While media coverage naturally focuses on the shocking nature of the events, it also raises important questions about how society supports families dealing with addiction, mental health crises, and behavioral instability. Rob Reiner's reflections, shared publicly just weeks before his death, provide a stark reminder of both the potential and the limits of parental guidance, as well as the need for collective societal engagement in addressing these pervasive issues. Ultimately, the Reiner family story illustrates the delicate interplay between hope and reality, love and limitation, and human resilience and vulnerability. It calls attention to the importance of compassion, both within families and in broader social contexts, and encourages ongoing dialogue about prevention, intervention, and support for those grappling with addiction and mental health challenges. The tragic outcome underscores the urgency of early intervention, comprehensive care, and the acknowledgement that even the most loving and attentive parents cannot fully control the trajectory of another human being. In conclusion, the deaths of Rob and Michelle Reiner, juxtaposed with their son's struggles, provide a powerful and heartrending case study of human fragility. The lessons extend beyond this single family to broader societal reflections on mental health, addiction, and familial responsibility. Rob Reiner's final reflections now serve as both a cautionary tale and a source of guidance, illuminating the enduring challenges faced by families navigating these deeply personal and universally resonant struggles. By engaging with these lessons, society can better recognize the complexities of human behavior, the limits of parental intervention, and the importance of empathy, understanding, and sustained support for all those affected by addiction and mental health crises. In the wake of the Reiner family tragedy, attention has increasingly turned toward questions of legacy, both personal and professional, as well as the ways in which families, communities, and society at large can reflect and learn from such profound loss. Rob Reiner's career spanned decades of film, television, and activism, leaving an indelible mark on Hollywood and popular culture. His films, often centered on deeply human themes such as love, growth, and redemption, serve as a testament to his ability to translate empathy and understanding into storytelling. In reflecting on his life and work, it is impossible to separate his personal experiences, particularly as a parent navigating the challenges of a child's addiction, from his artistic output. The Reiner tragedy has prompted many to examine the delicate balance between public recognition and private suffering. While Rob and Michelle Reiner were admired for their contributions to culture and society, the events of December 2025 have highlighted that wealth, fame, and professional success do not shield families from grief, mental health challenges, or violent outcomes. This reality underscores the universality of human vulnerability. Families of all backgrounds can face crises that defy preparation or anticipation, and the Reiner story provides a stark reminder of the unpredictability of life, no matter one's social or economic standing. Central to discussions of moving forward is the question of how families can address addiction, mental health, and behavioral struggles proactively. Rob Reiner's reflections on his son Nick emphasize the critical importance of communication, empathy, and continuous support. They also illuminate the limits of parental control, highlighting that even the most loving and attentive parents cannot guarantee specific outcomes. These insights encourage families to approach crises with a combination of realistic expectations and emotional resilience. Furthermore, they stress the importance of seeking professional assistance, community resources, and peer support while maintaining an environment of trust and openness within the household. The tragic circumstances surrounding Nick Reiner also raise broader societal considerations. Addiction and mental health challenges are not only individual issues, they have ripple effects across families and communities. Public discussion surrounding the Reiners has highlighted the need for more comprehensive understanding, early intervention strategies, and robust social support systems. By examining these events, mental health professionals, policymakers, and community leaders can better identify risk factors, develop resources, and promote awareness to reduce the likelihood of similar tragedies in other families. The Reiner case, though intensely personal, has sparked broader dialogue about responsibility, prevention, and collective care for those struggling with addiction or psychological distress. Another aspect of moving forward is the consideration of legacy. Rob Reiner's artistic and personal contributions continue to resonate. His films, interviews, and public statements provide enduring lessons about empathy, resilience, and the complexity of human relationships. Even in the context of tragedy, his reflections on Nick and their shared experiences illuminate the power of honest communication, the importance of acknowledging mistakes, and the necessity of unconditional love. These lessons extend beyond the Reiner family, offering insights into the challenges faced by countless parents and caregivers navigating the intricate realities of human behavior and familial bonds. Public mourning and reflection have also emphasized the importance of remembering individuals in their entirety, rather than reducing their lives to single events. Rob and Michelle Reiner's deaths are undeniably tragic, but their legacies encompass decades of creativity, dedication, and positive influence. Similarly, while Nick Reiner's actions are the subject of legal proceedings and public scrutiny, understanding the underlying factors, addiction, mental health, and environmental pressures, can provide context for a more nuanced perspective. This approach encourages society to consider both accountability and compassion, a balance that is crucial in addressing the complexities of human behavior. Ultimately, moving forward requires integrating lessons learned from personal tragedy with broader societal awareness. Families, communities, and individuals can take inspiration from Rob Reiner's reflections, the importance of dialogue, empathy, and consistent support, the recognition of limitations and boundaries, and the value of acknowledging both successes and mistakes. In doing so, it becomes possible to honor the memories of those lost while fostering resilience and understanding in others facing similar challenges. In conclusion, the legacy of the Reiner family encompasses both remarkable achievements and profound tragedy. Rob Reiner's life and reflections, particularly in relation to his son Nick, provide enduring guidance for families navigating addiction, mental health, and relational complexities. By learning from their experiences, society can approach similar challenges with greater awareness, compassion, and preparedness, ensuring that the lessons of this heartbreaking story contribute to a broader understanding of human vulnerability, love, and resilience. The story of the Reiners, though marked by sorrow, ultimately offers a call to reflection, empathy, and action for all who confront the difficulties of family, addiction, and the fragility of life. In the aftermath of the Reiner family tragedy, discussions about healing and recovery have taken on heightened importance. While the immediate focus has understandably been on the shocking circumstances surrounding Rob and Michelle Reiner's deaths, the broader conversation has expanded to examine how families and communities can respond constructively to trauma, addiction, and mental health crises. Understanding the processes of emotional recovery and the support systems that can mitigate such tragedies is critical for both families and society. One of the most prominent lessons from the Reiner story is the essential role of early intervention and ongoing support. Addiction and mental health struggles are often complex and multifaceted, involving biological, psychological, and social components. Rob Reiner's reflections on his son Nick underscore that even prolonged periods of sobriety or apparent stability do not eliminate vulnerability. This reality highlights the necessity of continuous monitoring, open communication, and professional guidance, particularly for individuals who have experienced repeated relapses or behavioral crises. Families who are proactive in seeking help, from counseling, therapy, rehabilitation programs, or peer support groups, are better equipped to navigate these challenges, though even the most comprehensive support cannot guarantee prevention of tragic outcomes. Equally important is emotional preparedness and resilience for caregivers. Rob Reiner's candid acknowledgement of the emotional toll of parenting a child struggling with addiction reflects a universal experience for many families. Stress, anxiety, fear, and feelings of helplessness are common, and they can be compounded by guilt or second-guessing past decisions. Developing emotional resilience, engaging in self-care, and seeking guidance from mental health professionals are crucial components for caregivers. By addressing their own needs alongside those of the individual in crisis, families can maintain stability, make more informed decisions, and foster an environment conducive to healing. The Reiner tragedy also illuminates the limitations of traditional support structures in cases where addiction and mental health challenges intersect with extreme stressors, such as fame, public scrutiny, or complex family dynamics. While Nick Reiner had access to significant resources, including professional treatment and familial support, the outcomes demonstrate that these resources alone may not prevent a crisis. This reality serves as a reminder of the unpredictable nature of human behavior and the need for comprehensive, adaptable, and individualized approaches to treatment and support. Public understanding of these limitations is essential to foster empathy rather than judgment when similar tragedies occur in less visible contexts. Societal reflection is another critical component of the healing process. The Reiner case has sparked broader conversations about how communities address addiction, mental health, and family support. Advocacy for greater access to mental health resources, destigmatization of addiction, and development of community-based interventions are key steps toward preventing similar tragedies. By viewing the Reiner story not only as an isolated incident but as part of a larger societal challenge, policymakers, educators, and healthcare providers can work to create systems that identify risk factors early and provide comprehensive support for individuals and families alike. Art and creative expression also play a significant role in healing and reflection. Rob and Nick Reiner's collaboration on the semi-autobiographical film Being Charlie illustrates how storytelling can serve as a therapeutic medium for exploring difficult emotions, facilitating communication, and fostering understanding within families. Art allows individuals to externalize experiences, process trauma, and connect with others who may have faced similar challenges. Encouraging such creative outlets, particularly in families affected by addiction and mental health crises, can complement traditional therapeutic approaches and provide additional pathways for growth and reconciliation. Finally, the Reiner tragedy underscores the importance of community empathy and non-judgmental support. Families affected by addiction and mental health issues often face isolation, stigma, or misunderstanding. Public discourse that emphasizes compassion, awareness, and understanding can help mitigate these pressures and provide a foundation for meaningful recovery. Rob Reiner's reflections, shared openly in the weeks before his death, serve as a poignant reminder of the universality of these struggles and the importance of approaching them with patience, insight, and humanity. In conclusion, the Reiner family story is not only a cautionary tale of tragedy but also an opportunity for reflection and societal growth. It highlights the necessity of robust support systems, emotional resilience for caregivers, early intervention strategies, and the value of empathy and understanding. By learning from this heartbreaking experience, families and communities can work toward creating environments where addiction and mental health challenges are addressed proactively and compassionately. The legacy of the Reiners, marked by both extraordinary accomplishments and profound loss, offers lessons that extend far beyond Hollywood, serving as a guide for navigating the complexities of human vulnerability, healing, and collective responsibility. As the immediate shock of the Reiner family tragedy begins to give way to reflection, the focus increasingly shifts toward legacy, both the personal and professional imprint left by Rob and Michelle Reiner, and the broader societal implications of their story. Rob Reiner's contributions to film and culture remain monumental, with a career defined by works that blend humor, empathy, and insight into the human experience. Films such as When Harry Met Sally, Stand By Me, and The Princess Bride continue to resonate with audiences, emphasizing themes of connection, resilience, and the intricacies of personal relationships. Yet, alongside this artistic legacy lies a profoundly human story of parental devotion, struggle, and heartbreak. Rob Reiner's reflections on his son, Nick, provide a window into the daily realities of parenting a child with addiction and mental health challenges. His candid acknowledgement of both hope and fear, of successes and regrets, adds a layer of depth to the public's understanding of the Reiners not merely as celebrities, but as a family navigating complex human issues. The tragic outcome underscores the limits of parental influence, the unpredictability of behavioral struggles, and the deep emotional toll such challenges exact. These reflections now serve as a poignant reminder of the vulnerability inherent in even the most loving and supportive family environments. The Reiner tragedy also invites broader societal reflection on the treatment of addiction and mental health. It highlights the importance of early intervention, ongoing support systems, and the necessity of compassionate, non-judgmental approaches to families facing similar challenges. While public focus has inevitably centered on the shocking circumstances of December 2025, understanding the underlying struggles, substance abuse, mental health difficulties, and the pressures of fame, offers valuable lessons in empathy, awareness, and proactive engagement. Rob Reiner's engagement with his son through the semi-autobiographical film Being Charlie illustrates the potential of creative endeavors as a form of dialogue and healing. Artistic expression can provide an avenue to explore difficult emotions, communicate openly, and foster understanding, complementing therapeutic and professional interventions. This intersection of art and personal experience serves as a testament to the human desire for connection and reconciliation, even amid profound challenges. Ultimately, the legacy of Rob and Michelle Reiner encompasses both extraordinary professional achievements and a deeply human narrative of love, struggle, and loss. Their story reminds us of the fragility of life, the complexity of family dynamics, and the enduring importance of empathy, patience, and compassion. By reflecting on the lessons embedded in this tragedy, society gains insight into the challenges faced by families navigating addiction and mental health crises, as well as the potential for understanding, growth, and healing even in the most difficult circumstances. In conclusion, the Reiner family story is both heartbreaking and instructive. Rob Reiner's final reflections, captured in interviews shortly before his death, provide enduring guidance on love, hope, and the limitations of control. As the public continues to mourn and reflect, Their story stands as a reminder of the human capacity for resilience, the importance of meaningful support systems, and the profound impact of empathy in confronting life's most difficult challenges. Through this lens, the Reiner legacy extends beyond film and fame, offering enduring lessons on family, vulnerability, and the human spirit.